What's going on, FootClan? I want to remind you, fantasychamps.com. Head there right now if you need a trophy, need a belt, need some celebratory swag for your fantasy championship, for your league. Fantasychamps.com has all of that. And right now, if you enter the code FREERING when you buy a trophy, you will get a $59 championship ring for free. Head over there, check out the selection at fantasychamps.com.
The Fantasy Footballer Studio is brought to you by Amazon Prime. Welcome to the Fantasy Footballers Podcast with your hosts, Andy Holloway, Jason Moore, and Mike Wright.
Welcome in. Bye-bye, Bear. Hello, Hitman.
Hey, everybody.
The fever dream has come to an end. Well, we had been very...
What was that all about?
we did you listen to any of the podcasts?
Dude, I
assume not.
I did nothing. This was...
trying to exist.
Yeah, like this. You know how sometimes you're like, sick day. I'm going to watch shows.
Yeah, you're going to watch Netflix?
None of that bullcrap. It was just live and try to fast forward and time warp till this is over.
We had been
good. I am 75% Theraflu right now.
Are you? Okay. Yeah, we had spent some time on the show talking about how little we had heard from you, which told us everything we needed to know.
Right.
Where it was like there was
no update.
There was no real
it was just
communication. It was like,
and then I see the tweet from like yesterday where it was the Jumanji.
yeah,
GIF,
you never
just
tweeted
like,
during the whole time either.
Well, that tweet, which was, what year is it?
Yeah,
because that was the first time I had woken up all week where I'm like, wait, I'm in reality.
Yeah, that's
I'm no longer half here, half in the phantom zone.
Well, we're happy to have
Goodness.
you back.
Yes.
Jay Grizz once again disappointed in your absence. He didn't do much.
He does. I mean, he looks good.
Yeah, he
He hasn't aged a day.
makes Jason look small.
That's true.
But you're back in time for the Wheel of Shame today. Congratulations.
Yeah, perfect. You guys, I would not put it past you to pick on a sick guy.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. YouTube.com/TheFantasyFootballers. I did want to take a second. We're coming to the end of the season. We got semifinal week. We're previewing games today. We've got our the fantasy face-off at the end of the show. Next week is championship week.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's funny, I talked to somebody yesterday whose championship week is this week.
Really?
Yeah, I was like,
They never moved it when the NFL added a game or
no,
something?
and so that meant that their first week of the playoffs was the week when like the Ravens and everyone was on
my
bye.
goodness.
I was like, what are you doing, man?
Fix your
I
league.
was like, what are you doing? But
If only they knew what the schedule was.
yeah. Sometimes people just leave it alone.
I guess.
And so that's always one of our reminders is get that fixed in the off season. But if you have some feedback for us, this show is for you. This show is to help your team get better, to entertain you, to help you prepare each and every week. We're here all throughout the off season as well. But if you have feedback for us, we'd love to hear from you. Things that you love about the show, anything that you don't love, you can send that into questions@fantasyfootballers.com. We'll get those. We'll read them. We'll check them out. We always want to make the show better each and every year, and thought I'd get that out there. Before we talked about the 34-27 Thursday night football game.
What a game.
Yeah, it was pretty exciting.
This game, the Broncos started hot.
They
looked
looked unstoppable.
just machine-like to begin the game.
Much to my chagrin, because I did message you guys how annoyed. And look, this is the me problem. This is a 100. Maybe other people had the problem too, but them rotating their running back, literally every snap felt not to me, it didn't feel fully strategic. It felt like Sean Payton's like, yeah, I can do it. I can do this because I'm Sean Payton. And it worked for a bit there. and then they never running back never caught momentum.
Yeah, the running backs got tired from all the running on and off the field. It's funny. It's like
they were sprinting off.
Yes,
that is a distance to cover. You're doing wind sprints.
It's literally more than they run when they get the ball on the vast majority of occasions. So you talk about fresh legs. Like, man, fourth quarter, all of my guys are winded.
Why are you so tired? Coach, you got me running 50-yard wind sprints every other snap.
This was a game where I think, just the greatness of Justin Herbert was on display.
Oh, my gosh.
Time and time again.
He was so good.
I think it was the Darius Davis touchdown that was it didn't make sense the way his
How he
arm
threw
angle
it.
was.
He was like running to the left and had no ability to put his shoulder into it, and it just laser beams a ball.
It was awesome. And McConkey had a good game.
Dude, that Gus run.
The Gus bus.
That was a vintage Gus Edwards run.
Yeah, he was 14 for 68 and 2. Superstar Marvin Mims, Jason, led the way for Denver's passing game, 3 for 62, just further separating from that chump Troy Franklin.
He had 2 catches of his own.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm gaining on you. But Cortland Sutton, 5 for 50. Everything was pedestrian in this one. If you started Sutton, which I think tons of people did, we had 3 or 4 in our office that did that. This was not the worst thing that could have ever happened. I believe in our league he showed up about a 1.5 under where they had him projected.
Yeah, Mike and I are
Sleeper.
playing against Cortland Sutton in the Dino Junior League together, and I'm disappointed that he got 7.5 points.
Yeah, I like
because it didn't feel that way.
No, it felt like he should have ended the game around 5, and 7.5 too much.
So all that being said, we don't have a Thursday night goose of Cortland Sutton to add to the cup and the read. Like it wasn't a league winning performance. It's probably not going to define your week either direction, but that was kind of the summary of the game.
The real only disappointing player who was an outright bust if you chose to play him, and we talked about it on the waivers that we would play McMillan over him, is Quentin Johnston. Quentin Johnston did absolutely nothing, even though Herbert was awesome. And
no, he cuged again.
Yeah, well, Q's going to cuge, especially on primetime. Those lights maybe the lights are too bright. He can't see when it's primetime. But yeah, hopefully you didn't start him.
So yeah, there you go. It's Friday.
FootClan Friday.
All right, every Friday we give $100 away to fantasychamps.com. We give a Fantasy Footballers t-shirt away to a supporter. And this week, username Groot.
I am?
Just Groot. Groot, congratulations.
Yeah, his name's not I am Groot.
Oh, okay.
Jason.
So it's not the original.
No, Mike is making the point that his
name is simply
his name
Groot.
is Groot. He just says I am Groot.
Right, but that's all he says.
Yeah, but what?
He doesn't just say Groot.
If real Groot had an account on our site, he would not write it as I am Groot.
I don't know how he could write just Groot. He doesn't know how. He can only write and say I am Groot.
That is all we hear. No, he is speaking his language.
Oh, that's true.
It's like Pokemon.
I forgot about that. I apologize.
Don't fight Mike on these issues.
I apologize.
You nerd.
I wasn't nerd enough.
Congratulations. Thanks for supporting the show over there at jointhefoot.com. Let's talk news.
News and notes from around the league. Presented by USAA Insurance.
All righty. We have Saturday games this week. You get that trickle of fantasy points coming in throughout the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Patrick Mahomes off the injury report will play because, of course, this was good news, really good news, and I've seen all the practice videos as well. Joe Mixon off the injury report and will play in the game. Still a tough matchup. Still really, really want him in your lineup if you have Joe Mixon and you've been leaning on him to get to the semifinals.
Yeah, all the video, the practicing in full, it really does seem like the injury is not an issue here. The matchup is still an issue, but it's given me a lot of confidence to kind of bump him up a little bit more.
All right, we have George Pickens ruled out once again.
George.
And Rashad Bateman is questionable, was seen in a walking boot. Probably a customized walking boot that's already been pre-made for him with the engraving and it's like his walking boot that he can use every week if he wants to.
Has he considered getting a running boot?
Oh, and just leave it on.
Yeah. Like, why is it always a walking boot?
Man, if he went out there and started running routes in one of those boots, yeah, dude, with a boot with cleats.
I mean, he would.
Oh, that would be a weapon.
And he'd be safe.
I feel like he would always be just tilting one direction.
Yeah.
He's got to start in the slot, otherwise he's going out of bounds.
He's a little, he's uneven.
Yeah, RB, one leg.
Yeah.
Tyrone Tracy, limited on Thursday with an ankle injury. He's still anytime you got an offense looking as inept as the Giants, he's still going to be a little bit of a nervous start on a week-to-week basis.
Very.
Cedric Tillman's still limited. You're not playing
crap,
him
dude.
without Winston, and so we move on.
And there are also, like, sometimes you are trying to push someone through a concussion protocol even more, and they are. This is a team, I don't think they're in need to force him back for DTR.
David Njoku did not practice, dealing with the hamstring.
Sames.
Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, both limited. Jason made Breece Hall his start of the week.
What?
Yeah. This is
you know what's going to happen,
get fresh
Mike.
reaction
You know it's
from
going
Mike.
to happen.
You made Breece Hall your start of the week?
I told him I'm not there with him.
This is only a man crying out in pain.
Breece Hall has a good matchup. His two counterparts are currently not practicing in full, are injured, and he is going to have a good week now that he can't help people.
Like I said, this is just a man.
There's a
who's
little bit
angry.
of something there. Zach Ertz returned to a limited practice. Could be back out there with the concussion.
This is what I was talking about. Like, remember we would talk about player incentives, and maybe Zach Ertz will come back a little quicker through his protocol because he's got some checks to cash.
Well, he got some quiche coming
Yeah,
out.
so that's motivation somehow can affect concussions, it seems.
Yeah, and we are still – K. Dotton still didn't practice Wednesday or Thursday with a knee injury, monitoring that. Tony Pollard did not practice. DMP limited last week, so he could still play. Geno Smith practiced in full, and here's a big one. Kenneth Walker
The Bone Zone.
practiced in full.
Are we back?
Well, see, the bone – we might be back to Kenneth Walker playing, but
I know.
But the bone zone –
It's
Minnesota, so that is –
as bad as it gets.
and then Charbonnet, he was limited with the oblique, but
honestly, Andy and I are squaring off in the semis in the dynasty. Our Dino Senior
underdog.
Andy is the underdog, and my final decision comes down to a spot like where I have Jerome Ford,
Right.
and it was I don't like that DTR is the quarterback, but hey, he should be getting all the work. He's got juice.
It's the Bengals.
And it's the Bengals. I love my running backs against the Bengals. I just want pieces of that. And I didn't want I'm sorry.
didn't want this decision.
I didn't want Ken Walker to make the decision hard for me because I think he is even starting him is so difficult. A healthy Ken Walker against Minnesota is like, oh, are we going to get one of those real crappy where he's like 2 yards per carry, maybe he catches 3 passes and it's just nothing?
Do you remember when
staring it down is really, really hard to start him.
Do you remember when Kenneth Walker played against the Detroit Lions in that tough run D before they lost their defense? And he was the running back 2 with 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, no, he can. But what was his line aside from the touchdowns?
He was 12 for 80, 6.7 yards a carry.
I didn't recall.
4 receptions for 36
and
yards.
he could. That's where it's
I know.
hard.
That's
because
really
Ken
tough.
Walker can do that. Ken Walker can also be 40 yards on 15 attempts and nothing else.
There are several situations this week. Jerome Ford, Kendre Miller.
Yeah.
Oh
man.
where you have, where you have like an opportunity that just screams, start me, because of the amount of work that they have the potential to receive, but offenses that say, kill me, because they're going to be so inept. Like, are you going to be happy with Kendre Miller if he catches one pass and runs between the 20s a few times and they punt? Like, this is what submarine Dalvin Cook. We shared stories on the Footcast of your worst
the bad
championship bad beats. And I was like, I had Dalvin Cook when he was a top 5 running back, and he played in the fantasy championship, and I needed 9 points to win a title. And guess what? It wasn't Kirk Cousins. He was out with COVID. I don't remember the name of that chump that played quarterback that week. But they were so inept that it was 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. You don't get to run the football if your first down is a sack, okay, and now it's 2nd and 15, and you got an incompletion, and it's 3rd down, you're off the field. Like, that does happen, and those decisions are hard. I know Kendre Miller, we'll get more into it on this show. He is like the #1 name littering the start-sit tool on the website because, you know, people don't know what to expect, and whether you go with a lower probability bad matchup, Kenneth Walker, or everything for Kendre Miller on Monday night where you've not seen enough of him.
It's a really tough choice.
Jalen Waddle did not practice. We can probably stop updating about Jalen Waddle. He's not going to be in your lineup. Isaac Guerrero, we got news. Unlikely to play.
Unbelievable.
This is they're going to go to 5th string at the running back position, which will probably be, if you had, you know, some Keyshawn Vaughn, Patrick Taylor combination that is not attractive. Like, I'm not actively fighting for one of those guys right now. I don't know if you guys have a different opinion.
I think Patrick Taylor is probably a good play this week. I expect – I mean, they always use one guy. You know, the idea that they're going to platoon it and use a committee, maybe at some point, now that they're on to the 16th string running back, maybe they do. It's never been done. Like, Kyle Shanahan has had enough injuries, and they just grab whoever's next and say, well, you're on the field for every snap. It's just kind of how we play ball. So I think it's going to be Patrick Taylor. He is someone that I would be willing to start. I picked him up in a league that I'm in the playoffs for, at the very least, to just block if I don't start him.
All right, Alvin Kamara not expected to play on Monday. Season might be over for Alvin Kamara, so you're probably not getting him back next week if you make it through. It is certainly disappointing. He's been a key cog in championship runs.
Just devastating. I mean, he's one of those players that's just in almost every single playoff right now.
Mike, we are facing each other this week. I was already an underdog, and now you will not be getting Alvin Kamara against you.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, but guess what I got instead?
What do we got?
Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh, that will be the ultimate comeuppance for me.
Yes.
Which one of you guys, I believe you or Al, are playing against in the League of Record, the Alvin Kamara
that would
team,
be,
right?
that would be Al. Al is.
Congratulations.
I think he got a concession speech from the other manager already due to Alvin Kamara's
but then
absence.
Al tried to be like, well, Cortland Sutton.
Is that Al's voice?
It was disappointing. It is when one player's like, I don't have my superstar running back. He's like, yeah, but Cortland Sutton got 8 points.
Mike is back, baby.
I love it. Bring the heat.
We did get news this morning as well. Just one last bit here. We talked about James Conner, got the great matchup. Trey Benson's already out for Sunday's game, and Amari DeMarcado's on IR. So they are now down to 2 running backs on the roster, Conner and DJ Dallas.
We may have a return here.
Yeah, you could get Tony Brooks, James Jones Jr.
Oh, my gosh.
Or Michael Carter.
Tony James Jones Brooks Jr. coming back. That's a name I never thought I would hear again.
Or remember.
Yeah. Also, though, Paris Johnson, the left tackle, is also not going to play this week. So, you know, some good from a depth chart standpoint for Conner and some bad from an offensive line standpoint.
That was today's news and notes, presented as always by USAA Insurance. Learn more at usaa.com/insurance. Let's take a quick break, and we'll jump back into the forecast.
It's time for Fantasy Forecast, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook.
All right, yesterday we covered the Texans, Chiefs, Steelers, Ravens. Those are our Saturday games. Don't forget to set those lineups early. Giants, Falcons, Lions, Bears, Browns, Bengals, Rams, Jets, Eagles, Commanders. And we're moving forward. Tennessee, 3-11. Indianapolis, 6-8. Games in Indy, where they are 3.5-point favorites. Over-unders 42.5 on the DK Sportsbook. It's going to be Mason Rudolph on the Titans side. Going to be Anthony Richardson once again at home. Tony Pollard, we think, could be active. We talked about his contract incentives. He's got a little ways to go to get to 1,100 yards, 7 touchdowns. Tajay Spears was your hungry for more, Jason. And then yesterday, Mike, this will be breaking news to you, but I am I'm shooting my shot on Chigakonkwo this week.
What?
That's going to be my tight end start. So that is over Otten. That
League
is
of record?
Over Britton Strange.
Wow.
So this was the breaking news yesterday. One more piece of data. I brought up the fact like the Colts are who you want to play if you're in if you're a tight end. We talked about the targets per route run being in the same place that Ridley's at. Over the last 3 weeks, here are the tight ends targeted the most on a per route basis. Number 1 was Njoku, 31% of the time. Number 2 in the NFL, ahead of McBride, Britton Strange, Hunter Henry, anybody else, is Chigakonkwo. He's number 2 in the league, 29% of routes run. And so I am taking my shot on an athletic tight end as opposed to the plodding. You know, we got news that Britton Strange has an AC joint injury. Cade Otton is now missing 2 practices. We've got a concussion that maybe Zach Ertz gets back from. Like, if you're bottom of the barrel is all I'm saying. It's going to be Chig for me. He's in my lineup. That's the way I'm riding.
All right.
I get it.
Enough to the point where Jason has apparently put some sort of touchdown bet down on Chig.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'm gonna play, and I'm also in one of the leagues where I was in that situation of like, am I playing a Britton Strange? And I decided I'm riding with you, man. I picked up Chig. You're. I mean, he is a player. Oh yeah,
he had a drop.
Oh, Konkwo.
10 targets last week, by the way.
I see that.
Yeah, the thing is athletically he is a really good player. There was a time where we were very excited for him. I do think that the opportunity is there for him, and Mason Rudolph, not a huge upgrade from Will Levis, not a downgrade from Will Levis. So, you know, you could hopefully see him duckfoot run another big, long touchdown.
Is that how Chig runs?
Dude, yes. On that big, long touchdown.
Duckfoot?
Yeah.
So, like, his feet are out?
Yes, his feet point
Or is
away
he
from
quack?
center. What's that?
Does he quack? Or is it feet or is he
It's
quack?
a feet. No, it's a feet. It's like, I don't know how he runs so fast when his toes are pointing like guys looking in 2 different directions. You know?
Oh, my gosh. Jonathan Taylor, Jason, after he hurt you, I'm surprised he's not your start of the week.
I did think about it. I mean, he's a good start this week. Obviously, last week, the boneheaded play that what did you say?
7.9% of people
So
in
basically,
Yahoo leagues lost because of that play.
Holy crap.
Yeah, because he just dropped the touchdown. Went
Yeah,
from a
but-
touchdown to a fumble.
But how cool did he look?
I
Like
can't.
if that had been a touchdown and the way that he was like timing the drop, how cool is that?
Is that where the like NFL street cred is like how quick can you drop the football after breaking the plane?
Yeah.
So that everyone's trying to get it close.
They had
everything.
to review that thing 10 minutes, and it called me a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor's a good player. He was awesome last week.
I
Obviously,
bet he doesn't do that again.
I'm sure he will never do that again the rest of his career. But the matchup is pretty good against the Titans. They're at home. They are favored. I think Jonathan Taylor's a very good start.
For whatever reason, he hasn't had huge games against Tennessee in the past, but the matchup looks good on paper. Is there a wide receiver on the Indianapolis side that you would feel a level of confidence in this week?
No. I mean, you could.
I know Alec Pierce is banged up. Maybe there's a little bit of consolidation of the 45% completion rate.
I mean, I would put Josh Downs in first, and I would hope that I'm not putting Josh Downs in. I hope I have a better option. You know, last week you had 9 targets to Michael Pittman, 8 targets to Josh Downs. With the completion rate, it feels like you need about 20 or 30 targets to have a good game. But, I mean, Josh Downs has had a handful of good games already with Anthony Richardson. So if you've got to play one of them, that's who I would play.
Yeah, I want to hit the almost upset button, but it feels like this game is so
Did you see the Brian
it's so
Callahan?
boring anyways.
Did you see the Brian Callahan press conference where one of the reporters asked about his team being soft?
No.
Oh, man. If you had saw that, I think you would have hit the button. Because
I'll hit it. It's fine.
Andy's almost upset of the week.
He got fiery on that. I mean, he told that reporter, like, whoever's saying that has absolutely no idea what they're talking about.
38 expletives.
Oh, it was really like it was Dan Campbell. It was so
38.
It was so
That is the stats that Kyle's already had.
genuine and real.
You made that up, Kyle. Okay.
Well, it was there were. I mean, if he's not 38,
Oh, he made it up. All right.
It's not too far off.
Very
But I mean, it was
disappointing.
a great. Like, if I was a player and I watched my coach the way that he got my back And I think it would amp this team up. It would fire them up.
What if you're actually soft?
I don't think they are, man. They don't have a good record. They've lost a lot of games. But honestly, it's quarterback. I mean, not all of their woes is quarterback play, but in the beginning of the year, I mean, it's hard to win games when you're constantly throwing the other team touchdowns. It's like that doesn't mean your team is playing soft. Remember in the beginning of the year, we didn't want to face the Titans defense.
Yeah.
Because they go out and they hit hard and they play strong, but they, maybe they're a little bit phoning it in now. It's hard to play hard at 3-11.
It's also hard to play defense on a short field because Levis gives you a short field. The Cardinals are 7-7, taking on the 3-11 Carolina Panthers. The DraftKings Sportsbook line, Arizona -4.5. The over/under is 47. There you go. Carolina, we got a little bit of a retread. No, that's not the word. A retracement.
That's not a word.
For Bright, yeah, it is.
Retracement?
Yeah.
For real? That's new.
I mean, you retrace.
Yeah, I've got Mr. Stocks over there looking at me. Bryce Young he went backwards a little bit last week. That was the point.
Oh, this was
a retracement is a technical term used to identify a minor pullback or change in the direction of a financial institution such as a stock or index. All right, Andy.
Oh,
my man. Look at that. That's impressive.
I'm just saying shares of Bryce Young, the price went down a little bit last week. Turnovers. Arizona on the road, 4.5-point favorites. Still a competitive NFC West. Cardinals right there, one game behind. Carolina's rush defense, it's awful. They're giving up 173 rushing yards a game. That would be the most all time. James Conner's going to be pretty good.
how is James Conner not the RB1 this week?
Yeah, I mean,
Jason made him his start of the week on that basis, basically. It was him and Brees.
I had Brees as kind of a second because who's not starting James Conner, but James Conner is like the start of the week. He should be in this matchup. You're favored. You're playing a perfect matchup. Your backups are injured, so you're going to get all the work, and he's just been on fire. Also, the last 3 years in a row, when he's on the field down the stretch, late in the season when defenses are tired of the way he plays, concrete, he's it's tough to take him down.
So talk to me about the other parts of the offense because I think people have been laboring with the Kyler Murray decision this week. We've seen him in there. It's Kyler or Love. It's Kyler or Darnold. It's Kyler or Goff.
There are situations where I would start Kyler Murray, and it's not the names that you just said. Obviously, Kyler can have big explosive games. The Carolina matchup is a good one to be in. The over-under is fine. But if I'm looking at starting Kyler or, Caleb Williams, okay, it's really difficult for me to say I'm going to trust him over guys that I think are playing good football on a regular basis, like Jordan Love, like Sam Darnold, like Baker Mayfield. I don't think I'm going to take someone who is as volatile this season as Kyler over them, but it's not to say he's unstartable in a good matchup.
It's just
they win games where he doesn't have good fantasy.
That's the issue of last week. I liked the spot the Cardinals were in. I thought Kyler was a decent play. The Cardinals put up 30 points, and Kyler did nothing.
Concrete.
Yeah.
James Conner had the rushing touchdowns, and this matchup, it can happen again.
That joke needs to stay offline. We cannot proliferate.
That's a Mark Sanchez
and
nickname.
give any credence to that nickname because we only use it because it's so
Connor,
bad.
so it's concrete, Mike.
Oh, man.
Mark Sanchez, what's up?
We still. I mean, when we're watching the games, we yell concrete now just to make
we were
fun
watching.
of
It was the Jets game, was it?
I don't
remember which one it was. The Cardinals are playing, and it's just all of a sudden the announcer just keeps yelling concrete.
Yeah.
No one's ever heard about that out here in Arizona.
That's what everybody calls him.
This is not a nickname. You can't make it happen.
It's also the name concrete. There are better nicknames. All right, on the other side, Chuba Hubbard's rush and receiving line is 90.5.
He's also a very good play.
Going right back to Chuba Hubbard after a disappointing week. And then Adam Thielen. I think Adam Thielen is a great start. Leggett, Moore, Coker, all banged up.
Be careful.
Yeah, no, don't be careful. I'm going to play him, and I'm going to play him over Jacoby Myers, Jason. I made that decision.
Oh, yeah, you are.
Yeah.
That we can all make bad decisions. So Adam Thielen to me is like the barometer test of like this week. He's the name of waiver wire type of guy that will I start, Jerry Jeudy. who's now got DTR, but he's been on fire, or Adam Thielen. I would take Judy in that situation.
Yeah, I'd probably stay with Judy.
Yeah.
I would take Myers. But, Josh Downs, we were just talking about, can you start Josh Downs with, against with Anthony Richardson against the Titans? Yeah, but I would rather have kind of the known volume that is expected with Adam Thielen. So that's kind of my barometer test this week.
Yeah, and Thielen's in that group over the last 5 weeks where, it's 12.3 points a game. It's about where Shakir is. It's a little bit it's 0.2 ahead of Myers. It's where Tyreek's been. It's where McConkey's been. So
it comes down
he's
to
fine.
Yeah, like Bryce Young did we get fooled? Fooled's the wrong word. Did he just get this? He played really, really well after coming off the bench, and now the old, maybe like some of the habits or things that they have. I don't know if that came through the mic, but Jason's over. If you're not on the video, Jason has 2 mugs.
He's got 2 mugs,
and I'm like, what
he's
is
clinking them together frequently.
I'm not on purpose. I keep hitting the handle of one
because
with
you
the
have
other.
2 mugs in a very small space.
What do you think's going to happen,
There
Bug
was-
man?
At least separate them.
There was a water, and then I decided right before the show I want a coffee.
There you go, right hand, left hand.
There we
You got
go.
2
There's
hands.
no way he's not spilling that mug on the other side. That he
Not
goes,
used to right-handing this,
But
Mike.
it is Bryce Young just is he going to revert right back?
I think there's 10 targets in the cards for Thielen.
I would agree
Whatever
with that.
you're happy, if you're happy with 10 targets, he catches 75% of his passes. He's going to be fine.
Having said that, I would play Thielen, but
Trey McBride, he spat in the face of my touchdown guarantee after they tried to get him that little.
everybody in the entire world is now doing the every single week. This is it. I'm calling the Trey McBride touchdown. It's not happening ever.
It's happening. It's happening this week.
It is not.
It is 100%.
It is never happening.
They will try a little harder at the end of games to get that done.
The big question, I think, on most people's minds who are in the playoffs is Marvin Harrison Jr. That's the guy that they don't know what to do with. If you've got a Zay Flowers type that is, do you start Zay Flowers or, you can honestly have the conversation of like, is Adam Thielen a safer, better start than
He is
Marvin
a safer
Harrison?
start, yes.
safer floor.
He's only had 1 target, I think, inside the 10 in the last month. So Harrison is he's a wide receiver 28. You need to treat him that way and not the way you drafted him. And then you'll be fine.
Marv has been 7 or fewer points in 3 of the last 4.
Yeah. I think people are.
How is this possible?
Cardinals could win the division still.
Ugh.
Minnesota's 12-2, taking on the 8-6 Seattle Seahawks. DraftKings Sportsbook line Minnesota -3. Over/unders 42.5. An amazing job by Kevin O'Connell with these Vikings. They have been outstanding. The defense, so formidable, make you basically, you have to pass. You don't really get the choice to run on them. That's where the dilemma of Ken Walker becomes more complicated. There will be a re-injury risk. It might not be high, but he's been hurt multiple times this year. And you're coming back from injury in a terrible matchup. He missed 2 weeks early in the season. He missed 2 weeks late in the season. And we were already a little bit, Mike, you've been frustrated with the bone zone becoming the Charbonne zone anyways. Yep. So it does feel a little nerve-wracking. We talked about it a lot earlier. My start of the week at wide receiver was JSN, who is the guy right now and has a safe PPR floor.
And upside, I think. Not only based on his talent, but the matchup is fantastic. The Vikings put up so many points, and you can't run on them. So it's just like the end of games is so valuable for opposing teams against the Vikings when you talk about the passing game.
What do you do with Metcalf?
So Metcalf and Marv, those guys are in the same tier to me of these are good players that you can get a good game from this week who have not been performing, and you've just got to decide, it's obviously going to come down to your options, but neither one is a must start.
I would be playing Harrison over Metcalf if I had that choice because Metcalf has had, 2 months of disaster?
Yeah, it's been his previous explosive week would have been week 7 against the Atlanta Falcons, 4 for 99 with the score. Misses 2 games. His first game back after the bye week, 7 for 70. Okay, that's fine. And then it's just been subpar every game after that.
Yeah, he actually was off to a really strong start.
He was
on the course of the season, got injured and hasn't been the same. So I don't know if that's
is it just the
correlation
injury?
or causation, but
it's mixed with Jason's emergence too.
yeah, I mean it's been long enough that you need to be scared, but the matchup is so good here.
You guys, would you roll Juwan Jennings over Metcalf?
Yes.
Jennings for sure.
Jalen McMillan over DK Metcalf?
No.
Ooh, that one's.
I think it's close. I really do.
I
think that's
I think it's fair.
Name over opportunity. I think that one's close. I probably wouldn't have the guts to not see if I can get a Metcalf game. Aaron Jones on the other side, his rushing line is at 66.5. He's the RB15 on the year. Jefferson and Addison, are we feeling good this week for both guys?
Yeah, I mean,
and then where are you with Hawkins?
You're never going to not feel good about Justin Jefferson. And Jordan Addison's averaging 16 fantasy points per game over the last 7 games. So I think you've got to have him in there. Hawkinson is always going to be in because, there's 6 or 7 tight ends you can rely on, and if he's one that you have, he's in. So it's pretty easy, I think, on that side of the ball. The only question is Darnold. Darnold.
Yeah, where's he slot in this week?
He's the quarterback 6 over the last 7 weeks. We have him as our consensus quarterback 6 this week.
Darnold on the road against Seattle or Jared Goff on the road against Chicago?
I'm going to go with Darnold. I think that Goff outside, potential bad weather.
Brock Purdy against Miami on the road.
I'll take Darnold.
I will too.
I lean Darnold as well.
Yeah, we got him ranked pretty high. The Patriots are 3-11. Powerhouse, Ramondre Stevenson-led Patriots going into Buffalo. Cool. Buffalo 11-3 at home. They have an implied point total of 30. They are 14-point home favorites with an over/under of 46. That gives the Patriots 16 points. Away we go. Start Josh Allen. Start James Cook.
Yep.
And
then
then it gets complicated with the receiving room.
It gets very, very complicated.
11 degrees, by the way.
Yeah, it's going to be cold, windy.
Not in my dome.
That being said, I do think that you can take shots on any of them. I mean, Amari Cooper, Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, they will not all get it done. There's no chance that all 3 are going to have a good game. But Josh Allen's probably going to throw 2 touchdowns in this matchup. If you look at the history of when the Bills have been 14-plus point favorites, which has happened 10 times with Josh Allen, they're 9-1, and opponents are averaging 11 points, and they just blow them out.
They take care of business.
So I do think this is a game where, if you want to throw one of those wide receivers in, maybe you can say if it's windy and you're up a lot, maybe it's Khalil Shakir is the safe option. They're not the 50-yard bomb.
It's not Shakir for you no matter what?
No, I think – yeah, I mean, I guess
it's
Shakir is the safest for sure.
Shakir or Thielen, though?
Oh, that's a tough question.
By the way, I
think Thielen.
I have a plan for you guys. I think that would be really cool.
You have a plan?
Save your money.
Arthur.
Combine and save your money. For a few,
all of our money?
a few years. Yes, both of you.
Okay.
Build a stadium.
Oh, we're going to start saving.
Yeah, that's all of our money.
That's all of it.
Okay.
Build a dome, and then when you have the dome, every time you see a bad weather game coming up, invite the teams to play.
Ah.
And then if they
Just
turn
a
you
backup
down,
dome.
It's like you had a dome available.
Yeah, but that was
dome.
a lot of money.
Are they a lot?
I think they're a lot of money.
The dome.
Probably more
a
than
stadium?
The stadium?
Yeah. Well,
is that a lot of
if you're a billionaire, it's actually not that much because then you just make other people pay for it. It's really nice.
Yeah, we could do like a tax thing, right?
Yeah.
Like
there,
a 6,000% tax on the UDK.
We just make other people pay for our dome.
I am in, and I'm
Great plan.
I'm not joking. If we can do that, I'm in.
So
100% in.
If you don't have to pay for it, you are in.
Yeah, but we own it.
Oh yeah,
just like the people pay
for
it.
Yeah, we
taxes.
get a bunch of revenue.
Like I don't necessarily want to pay taxes to build people's domes.
Right? Yeah. Because
but
I
am
weird.
Totally fine on the other side.
Got it.
If other people are building me a dome, yeah, I'm in.
Who was that? Did you guys ever see that documentary about the guy that pretended he was like super billionaire and
got in a league?
Yeah, he was like buying was it the Nets, the Knicks?
I forget, but I know what you're talking about. It was all
all fake, and he just He got way down the road on buying the team.
So it's possible.
So it's possible.
So you're telling me there's a
Can't
chance.
remember what team it was.
This game is – look, I'm playing Allen. I'm playing James Cook. That's all these things. But this game gives me the heebie-jeebies.
Okay.
Of like –
not as great as you
as
think it'd be.
in the randos on the Bills score, and then they're just like
cruising.
Like what are the Patriots going to do here? What are they going to do?
Oh, the Patriots are going to fold.
Ramondre is not going to be great. But the matchup, at least, they give up 22 fantasy points a game to running backs. You hope it comes early.
Yes, you do.
And Hunter Henry's receiving line is 42.5. Hunter Henry is not a path to a championship to me.
Dallas businessman John Spano pretended to buy the New York Islanders.
Yep, for $165 million.
How?
Yes, it was a 30 for 30, and it was so fascinating, and it was all fake.
At what point of the con are you like, I got to get out of this thing? Like, they're gonna find out.
At some point, you got to pay the bill.
This isn't like you got a free dinner. You're buying a sports team?
The idea that you go down the line like, oh, I'm going to buy a suit.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy a suit. I'm going to have a limo drop me off.
That's
then,
amazing.
Produced a bunch. I think he produced a bunch
$120 left, so.
Produced a bunch of fake documents.
He's like, a billionaire's like, oh, I forgot my wallet again, guys. Can you get this check?
Yeah. All right. Jacksonville 3-11. The Raiders 2-12. Neither of these teams should try to win this game. The DraftKings Sportsbook line is Las Vegas -1.5. The over/under is 40.
Which team
should try so hard to lose?
Which team is worse coached? Which team has? Yeah, I agree. That's who wins the game.
Oh, because they make the bad decisions?
Right. Yeah.
I mean, Aiden O'Connell's going to be back.
Aiden O'Connell is supposed to be back, which is great news for Brock Bowers. I think it's great news for Jacoby Myers. With Jacoby Myers in 4 games with Aiden O'Connell, he's averaging 12.7 fantasy points per game and 10 targets. So, to me, that's just as good. I have that above my Adam Thielen line, but he's right there in line.
Brock Bowers needs 109 receiving yards to break the NFL record for a rookie tight end.
Oh, Mike Ditka's record.
Yeah.
Ditka.
He'll get there.
He has not been prolific of late, even with Aiden O'Connell. He did have a #1 overall finish because he can go 10 for 140, but the 3 other weeks surrounding it outside the top 15 at the position. So, any defense that wants to try to stop this team, that would be the guy to try to cover. Brian Thomas Jr. has been awesome with Mac Jones. Mac Jones is just chucking it. He's got as many 20-point fantasy games as C.J. Stroud this year.
Which is one?
Which is one. Etienne and Bigsby, are we freaking out if we have to put them in our lineups?
Yeah, I don't think you want to put them in the lineups. You're going to be able to throw pretty easily on the Raiders, and
I think you're okay with Etienne.
Really?
I do. He's been better. Like he has visibly looked better to me on the last couple of weeks. He's been in the last 2 games about 10 points. So it's like the issue with
both of these guys is both of these guys. Right.
Right.
The last 2 weeks you had Tank Bigsby with 18 carries and 11 carries. So the fact that they are really sharing work just makes it difficult for either one to have a good.
Yeah, I would totally agree. But I think that Etienne's I think he's safe to give you 8 points or so
because of the passing work.
Yeah, and then on the other side, what do you do with the Raiders have quietly given us running back production. It's been gross. But we're back to Alexander Madison as the primary guy. His DK rushing line's only 46.5, which that sounds about right. But he has managed to get into the end zone a few times. If you're desperate, are you looking at Madison or Travis Etienne?
I would rather go with the talent of Etienne. Both of these teams don't scare me. The matchup is good for Madison, but Amir Abdullah is still a pass-catching back. I would rather have the pass catching of Etienne and the talent of Etienne over Alexander Madison. But they're close. They're not far apart.
Madison.
What a horrible game to have to watch with your players in there.
Madison over the first portion of the season before he got hurt missed a bunch of time and McCormick had his games, I mean, he was still getting targets. 6 targets, 3-1, 3-5, 3-5. Like, I don't know. I think Madison is it is disgusting and it's bottom of the barrel. You're hoping you don't have to do it, but like you're sitting on Tony Pollard. You get really bad news heading into the weekend. It's like, what do you do?
Sure, you could throw Patrick Taylor into that kind of the mix.
You would go Taylor over
I think
these
I would
guys?
go Taylor over these guys. I will say this game could be sneaky good. You just said, Andy, like what a bad game to watch. Mike, on Sunday Live last week, you pointed out that even though there wasn't a high over-under, it was kind of a low over-under, looked like 2 lousy teams in the Jets and the Jaguars, that like you could just have 2 bad defenses that end up giving you a lot of fantasy production. And that
is 2 bad defenses.
That was a beautiful offensive output. I think you could see that again if Aiden O'Connell is starting, which it looks like it's happening.
That's
Jacoby
so
Myers
big.
and Brock Bowers and Alexander Madison could all end up with good games, while Brian Thomas and Travis Etienne also have big games. So hopefully this turns
What
into –
about Britton Strange? I mean 11
it's just
targets.
a matter of health.
They said he's going to be out there. 11 catches on 12 targets.
It's a great matchup for tight ends.
So he's still an option, a desperation play.
I agree.
And,
I hope you pivot back to –
Nope, not going to do it. But I could. You never know. All right, we'll take a break. We'll get into the rest of the matchups. Well, Patrick Taylor and the 49ers at 6-8 taking on the 6-8 Miami Dolphins in Miami. San Francisco on the road, 1-point favorites. The over-under is 44.5.
Shanahan versus McDaniel.
Yeah, and they were together for a really, really long time on coaching staffs throughout the years. We are down to the 5th string running back for San Francisco. A lot of their offense is predicated on a competent running game. I don't have the Patrick Taylor confidence that maybe I'm not quite where Jason is, just believing that it'll be all him. But
to be fair,
that's a shot you could take.
To be fair, my confidence is that it'll be all someone. Like it could be Keyshawn Vaughn.
It's
but I think it's going to be Patrick Taylor. We've seen him on the field before. We've seen them give carries when Grindo got hurt and he had to. He was the next man up. So I do think it's going to be Patrick Taylor. The matchup here is not the best against the Dolphins, but they're not like a top 5 defense against running backs. But if you've got a guy getting all of the work, that's just valuable for fantasy.
Definitely play Achane. His receiving line, receptions-wise, 5.5. I think Tyreek Hill will be okay in this game with the injury to Waddle. His line is also 5.5 receptions, and that is exactly where Jonnu Smith's line is. So 5.5 for all 3 of those guys.
Yeah, everyone gets 5.5.
Malik Washington would be like a sneaky DFS punt play type of player with Waddle being out with no OBJ.
Oh, would he?
You said, or would he?
Would he?
Yeah. Juwan Jennings on the other side, his line 62.5. Juwan Jennings, I like him this week. I think you will be you'll be happy he's in your lineup. Kittle's in your lineup. And then, Jason, where are you with Tua after the really disappointing performance last week? He's also, he's going to play, but he's got a hip injury.
Yeah, I'm not excited about Tua at all. Shanahan knows McDaniel's system. I don't think he's going to be surprised. We've seen a lot of teams that get used to the system kind of figure it out better with the motion and those type of things. So I think you're going to have a good game plan here from Shanahan, who is still playing for the playoffs.
Is there a chance we just have an absolute stink fest?
Yeah, I think so. I really do think so.
Because both coaches know the other person and their tendencies so well.
And you've got some really important banged up pieces. I mean, obviously we know the San Francisco 49ers offense, the running back room has been decimated. But they're bad at wide receiver. Juwan Jennings is their one. Debo has disappeared.
Pearsall disappeared.
Ayuk is gone. So, and you got Waddle on the other side. I'm not excited for this game as some kind of great fantasy explosion.
Like an offensive performance.
And you see the news that Trent Williams might be out for the season?
Yeah, that's going to hurt 5th string running back Patrick Taylor a little bit.
Yeah.
Or whoever else gets opportunities. On Sunday night, we get the Buccaneers, 8-6, taking on the 6-8 Dallas Cowboys. Tampa, road favorites by 4, over-unders 48. That is the highest of the week. We have some news here. Baker Mayfield, Laser Mayfield himself, could be the new Kirk Cousins of primetime. He has lost 8 straight primetime starts.
Laser.
What's going on?
You didn't even want to hit the button.
Phasers and lasers can't handle primetime?
Laser. I think he can. I'm not too worried about history of wins and losses. I care about performances. That was the thing with Kirk Cousins for a long time, was he can't ever win the big game. And you go and you look at the statistics, like it's not it wasn't his fault. He was playing pretty well. He had like a couple really bad personal performances to start that run, and then was very good, but they kept losing and it got overblown. This is a fun game.
It is, yes.
I think that the Dallas Cowboys defense is not what it once was, and then they lost Diggs once it started getting better. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers defense is destroyed as well. You have at least Cooper Rush is capable enough, I think, against this Buccaneers team to score and keep Baker on the field having to widen the gap.
The Buccaneers implied point total is 26. It's the highest over-under of the week. It's one of the reasons I like Jalen McMillan a lot. The hot injury is another reason. The fact that he's been on an upward trend as a young rookie who's finally catching a higher percentage of his passes, getting on the same page. I like him as a flex. Evans is in your lineup. Rashad White's been the RB10 since week 7. He's in your lineup. Bucky Irving, if he's active, you got to play him. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's where I am too.
He's too good. And I think if he's active,
he's been limited this week in practice, so it's not the same terror as last week where it was like just nothing. You're like, I hope he's okay.
Mike, you are inching very close on your bold prediction show. You had said Rico Dowdle would be a top 20 running back. He is RB23 in total points, 27 in fantasy points per game.
And is playing in semifinal matchups.
Is he playing on your team?
You're darn right he is.
So I'm facing Dowdle.
You will.
And it's wild when you'd much rather have him on your team than Ramondre for this matchup. His career highs in rushing yardage have been 112, then he went to 131, then he went to 149. Top 10 performances in 3 straight weeks.
Huh.
It was the Giants, Cincinnati, and Carolina, so we're going to contextualize it. Those are juicy.
Of course. But 19 for 86 against Washington before that run happened.
Has not been catching the ball as much.
No, that's
with Cooper Rush.
That has been well. He had plenty of games with Cooper Rush catching passes. I mean, Rush has been the starter since week 10. It has been lately though that it has disappeared. So Mike McCarthy, let's get the passes dialed up here. But also, you're welcome, Mike.
Yeah. Well,
freaking idiot.
Were you talking to yourself?
No, I'm talking to Coach Mike McCarthy. There's
Thank
too
you,
many
Mike.
Mikes.
You're welcome, Mike.
Yeah, no, I know there's a little bit too many of us.
Tampa's been number 1 against the run the last 6 weeks. So maybe that's a red flag for a big game. I don't know. But Rico Dowdle's in a lot of lineups. And, it's been nice that CeeDee Lamb has been getting it done with Cooper Rush.
Yes.
Despite him being banged up.
And he will get it done again.
It seems that way. And then I think we're just staying away from the tight end position in Dallas at this point.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It's not been good since Ferguson's returned. So I think that summarizes that one pretty good. Monday, we got the 5-9 Saints against the 10-4 Green Bay Packers, where Green Bay is now sitting as a 14-point home favorite. It's my favorite defense of the week, the Packers, at home against Spencer Rattler and nobody else. The over-under is 42 points. That gives the Saints the lowest of the week, 14 points on offense. I really don't know how they move the football. I don't think Kendre Miller is – it's hard for Kamara to produce when the offense is this bad, and he still finds a way generally in the passing game. Kendre Miller's rushing line's at 51. Like, you're playing a Dowdle over a Kendre Miller, right?
Yeah.
You're playing a Pollard even with the health concerns over a Kendre Miller?
Yeah. If Pollard is active, I'm going to be playing Pollard.
Let me read you literally the most popular start sits on the site. Ford or Kendre Miller.
Ford.
Miller or Taylor. Miller or Downs. Miller or McMillan.
Oh,
Miller
Patrick
or
to it.
Tracy. Miller or Dowdle. Miller or Pacheco. Miller or Spears. Miller or Brian Robinson.
So Kendre Miller's a big question for people.
He is the biggest question of the week. And I wish I could tell you I've seen enough film of Kendre Miller to have the confidence that he's going to do great things.
I have seen enough film of Kendre Miller to have confidence he can do great things. I've also seen enough film of Spencer Rattler to not be sure that he can do great, that Kendre can do great things with this offense. You have no Chris Olave. You have no Kamara. You have no Taysom Hill.
You have no
You
MVS.
have no Derek. Yeah, you have no MVS. This offense is just kind of a skeleton crew.
Would you take the over-under on their implied total of 14.3 points? Because
I
I'm
would-
taking the under.
Yeah, I would
think it's
probably
10
lean
points.
towards the under. So I like Kendre Miller. You can always end up voluming your way to a good game and getting a touchdown, but I am so against this specific matchup and the belief in the team that most of those options, not all of them, but most of them, I would go the other way.
You'd play Kendre Miller or Josh Downs? Because it would be a flex
Ooh, that's a
decision
good
for
one.
people.
And it definitely should be a flex. This is a Monday Night Football game, so get him out of your running back slot. Oh, I think I would go Kendre there.
And Madison, the Madison Kendre Miller decision?
I would go Madison.
It's a fair question.
Jordan loves my start of the week at the quarterback position. Jacob's been amazing. What do you do with the roulette of letdowns that you get in Green Bay receiving options? This is such a plus matchup. You know, Jaden Reed, I don't see the split right in front of me here. He was like the wide receiver 7 through the first 10 weeks. He's been like the wide receiver 46
it was
since
so
then.
juiced from week 1, though. Like, it was let me go look at his
Well,
actual numbers, but it was like
week 1 was
2 huge
Week
weeks.
1 was 4 for 138 and a touchdown.
31 points in week 1 and 23 in week 4. And
That's kind of how it goes with him. Like, are you playing him? I mean, there are a lot of people with injuries. No more David Montgomery. I know Kyle's in that situation.
I don't think he's a horrifically bad play, but
Is it Watson? Is it Dobbs? Is it Reed? What's the order?
I would put Watson at the top.
That's where I'm at.
Yeah, I
Right
would,
now.
I would as well.
But I trailed off because my confidence level is not high.
Yeah, Dobbs got the touchdowns last week.
Oh man, and that snatching that one right off the ground.
Did you see his interview about that catch?
I did not.
He was very Kawhi Leonard. He was like,
Romeo?
they're like, talk about that catch, and then he just like kind of sat there and he's just like, yeah, I caught the ball. I was like, all right.
Yeah, because we don't have to talk to everybody.
That would be no, we know that, Mike. We know.
I'm saying talking to the athletes, like that's not their job is to go play football.
The only message we would have gotten from Mike this week would have been a small message that just said, I am dead.
Yeah.
And then you would have let us know, and that would have been it. But you're back. And just in time.
Fantasy Face-Off, presented by DraftKings.
Well. Last week I managed to bring it home. 151.
You dominated, and then Amon-Ra stole my second place.
Yes,
Thank
Jason,
you,
Jason
Amon-Ra.
won by 2 points over Mike, making Mike the shame. It's time to spin.
Wheel of Shame.
All right, spin the wheel.
Right back in the studio, just in time for the Wheel of Shame.
I hope it's something that covers my mouth breathing.
Um,
Hopeless. Oh, what do we got? We got a full Santa
well,
gear.
it's holiday season.
It's the holiday
gosh.
season.
Okay, so we got a coat,
You got a coat, you
Got
got
a
a beard, you
got a wig.
a wig,
Yeah.
And
Merry freaking
and
Christmas.
glasses. All right, you're gonna have
Merry
to
Christmas.
go to someone else. We're gonna need about a 5-minute
Go to
break.
my camera.
What is this?
And then we'll reveal Santa
All right.
Claus.
I like
hopeless.
it. Hide Mike for a minute
Yeah, I'll
while
be
he
back.
transforms.
Yeah, I mean, what do you have on your Christmas list this year,
Well,
Jason?
I can't say it yet. I want to go sit on Mike's lap here and let him know.
no,
what I'm
I
looking
wouldn't
for.
recommend it.
Yeah, I
Oh,
guess
no.
probably not the right time.
Yeah, I mean, coal in the stocking in the form of Breece Hall. You've already got that for Christmas.
Oh yeah. All I want.
Oh, this is good. I hope we bought this wig from the same place he bought those darn troll wigs for us, so that he can breathe it for the next 6 to 8 years. But here's
I'm
what
working
we'll
on
do.
it.
No. We'll pan back to you momentarily.
I think the beard looks a little higher quality here.
Yeah, no, we
Spared no expense.
Spared no expense. This is good. This is very good. All right, well, I'll get it started. We've got our fantasy face-off for the week, revealing our lineups. I am going to right a wrong. I mean, not that it was a wrong. I won last week, but I'm actually going Aaron Rodgers this week. 5,600. He's at home. He's been playing great, and I'm taking Aaron Rodgers in the savings.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm gonna go take even more savings.
You forgot the glasses, Mike.
I'm going way down.
You can go ahead and bring the camera back.
Soups at 4,500.
What?
Michael Penix Jr.
Oh, this is good for us, Mike. This is
Yeah,
good for us,
it
Mike.
is. I'm just playing wild this Christmas season.
All right.
Scared money don't make money, Jason. Michael Penix Jr.
Oh, yeah, you're in?
You're darn right. I mean, he's playing. Whoa, what do I look like?
That beard is not
the
best.
That beard is growing out of your eyes.
What?
That's not a mustache.
It's above your
Lower
nose.
that down. That's supposed to go below your nose, Mike.
You got to put it below your nose.
Yeah. There you go. That's where the mouth hole is.
All right.
Yeah.
There we
Now
go.
you look
hair
like
grows
jolly
below
old
the
Saint
nose.
Nick.
Yeah, Michael Penix.
Did you go Michael Penix?
Yeah, he's playing the New York Giants, and he's $4,500.
Yeah, no, I paid a little bit more than you did. My running backs, Jahmyr Gibbs, 7,500, James Conner, 7,100.
Same.
Jahmyr Gibbs and James Conner are mine.
So we are just eating up that money, sharing those
Oh,
running backs.
I got plenty more money.
Devontae Adams at 7,100, stacking with Rodgers. Marvin Harrison all the way down at 5,400 now.
It's too much.
For Arizona. And Malik Washington at 3,700 is my savings.
My savings is gross. I thought about going to Malik Washington and just burning $1,000. I've got Keon Coleman at 4,700. He was my savings. I've got your start of the week, Jackson Smith and Jigba. He's a great play. And Brian Thomas Jr. at 6,300 in that Jacksonville game.
I like the Brian Thomas there. I have Malik Washington at 3,700. I have Juwan Jennings, hopefully correlating in the same game at 5,900. And then who's this guy? Oh, Jamar Chase.
I figured
at
that would be the case.
8,500.
Yeah. That's a lot of quiche.
Nice.
That is the gap between your Michael Penix and Rodgers. Is the gap between Chase and Adams.
Right.
My tight end, no surprise here, Chiga Okonkwo, 3,400. My flex, you might know him as Devon Achane, 7,400.
Nice.
And I'm going Titans defense in the upset that I picked earlier against the mistake-prone Anthony Richardson, 2,600.
Go listen to that Brian Callahan conference. You're going to like it. I've got Chig at 3,400 at tight end as well. My flex is going to be very interesting. It's a chase-off between me and Mike. You've got Jamar Chase. I've got Chase Brown in the running game at 7,700. So I paid up for the running backs. And then I've got the 49ers, Shanahan against Miami and Tua.
I have Trey McBride because I'm told he's going to score a touchdown every single week at 6,200. Even if he doesn't score a touchdown, the dude is just PPRing his way into greatness. I'm running 12 personnel out yet again. Currently have Brenton Strange in there at 3,500. I'll probably have to pivot to Chig because he's like right around the same amount of money should Strange not play. And then I'm going with the other defense, Andy. I'm taking the Colts. I'll take the home team, 3,000 against Mason Rudolph. Ho, ho, ho! Ho, ho, ho.
Well, we did just get some breaking news here. Nick Sirianni talking about A.J. Brown's knee injury, which just popped up on the injury report Thursday.
Oh, no.
We'll see, he said, about whether he'll practice today.
Oh.
We'll see about whether he'll practice.
Okay.
Something to monitor here. We do have an Injury Blitz podcast coming out soon, so
I actually have Devontae Smith, 54.
No, we have an Injury Blitz with Matthew Betts coming out soon. That was Fantasy Forecast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use the code BALLERS. That's the code BALLERS to take advantage of special daily promotions only on DraftKings, where the crown is yours.
You're going to want to burn this beard, fellas.
Yeah, let's go ahead and
this thing
let's
is a-
Velveteen Rabbit that thing.
It's a biohazard.
Right to jail.
We are going to say goodbye, but Sunday Live We'll be here with you. BallersLive.com on Sunday morning.
Goodbye.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 and over. Age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. 1+ promotion per day. Promotion sport eligibility and requirements vary. Ends December 31st, 2024. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos.